Well, I want to welcome everyone as we are wrapping up an exciting day of Culture of Care for day one. What a day it's been. We have a couple sessions left for this day, so I hope you'll hold on with us and finish out the day with us as we'll be reviewing in our last session all of day two events and what's happening, and just want to say how much I appreciate everyone that's in attendance. I am also so unbelievably excited to introduce our alumni speaker. Our alumni speaker for this inaugural Culture of Care event is someone that actually I've personally gotten to know fairly well. And although she'd never tell you this, she epitomizes care in all that she does for other people. I've seen it personally in my own life, and I've heard stories also about it. Lavasha Red, 2022 UAGC graduate, is currently an associate with ESPN and a part of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff, and Band of the Year staff at the ESPN that's actually based in Atlanta, Georgia. She retired from the United States Air Force after 21 years of honorable service with specialties as a human resource specialist, Air Force medic, and recruiter. Her passion and dedication to others extends beyond her military career. She is actively involved in young mentoring and various community service activities. In 2019, she started a personal scholarship fund and has awarded 10 scholarships to date. Her hobbies include personal training, DIY projects, and pursuing her private pilot license. Lavasha, again, it is truly such a blessing to me to introduce you today. And I just can't say more except that you're amazing, so take it away.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm like, who was she talking about? Couldn't be me, but I am so grateful and honored to be here. Like Dr. Major said, I am Lavasha Red, and it truly is an honor to speak to you all today. When I first got approached about this, I just knew that she called me by accident or this, because I'm like, you know, what resume did she read or who this was? But actually, once we started talking about it, she is true. It is true. I am passionate about care and about people. But I also felt it was very important that I talk to you all today about what care did for me and share my story and my journey throughout college, my military career, and beyond. I can definitely say that my experience at University of Arizona Global Campus was exactly what their CARE acronym states. Communicate. There wasn't a time that I didn't feel that I couldn't communicate with, if it was my advisors, my professors. I mean, those lines of communications were wide open. And they were very transparent in their communication. And I feel that that's very important when you're trying to establish rapport and trust with people, is to make sure you're very transparent in your communication. And that was definitely something I experienced at this institution. Advocate from the very beginning. I didn't feel like I could do things, but professors and advisors were advocates for me. You know, they were advocates for me to have a positive learning environment, and to make sure that, you know, the experience that I had was, you know, positive, and I'm grateful for that. Respect. They definitely fostered an environment of respect. You had students from all over the place. You know, we were all over the place from different walks of life, you know, so we didn't all think alike. We didn't all, you know, have the same views or interpreted things the same way. But the professors had a great way of, you know, ensuring that they maintain respect, you know, in the classroom. So, and respect our very diverse views. So I was very, very appreciative of that. And then empowered. Y'all, I'm here right now talking to you guys. So she said I graduated in 2022. but I'm here speaking with you today because there were people that believed in me and cared for me, and now is empowering me to do something, and that's what it was from the very beginning, that I felt empowered to get it done, because I'm somebody that didn't think I could get through college. I didn't think that I could do it, but I'm here today because people empowered me to feel like I could, and guess what? I did. So caring is something that people think is a natural thing, but it's not. If we look at the world that we live in today and just various experiences that I've had, people only care to the extent that benefits them. And it's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing to encounter in this day and age. But I still feel like there's good people out there. I still feel like there's good people in the world. And I am a product of people being good and people caring. There is definitely they have their acronym, and there's a social media trend that's going across social media platforms right now, and it's like, I am because of this, so of course I do this. I'm not sure if y'all seen it, but it's like, I am this, so of course I do this. So because I'm an Air Force retiree, of course I came up with my own acronym for CARE. These are things that I feel that is important when you are talking about care. And my C is compassion. You should always show compassion, because you never know what people are going through. You never know what's on the other side of why they are acting, because truth be told, if somebody's acting a certain way, it's because it's a secondary to what they're actually feeling. So I was after retirement, I did my first year as a junior ROTC instructor in high school. And I had this class, boy, we were suffering together. They tested me. They just could smell that I was a new teacher. So they tested me, and I basically met their energy, They didn't like me, I didn't like them. We were fighting every day. I was gonna quit every day. I was like, oh my goodness, other people's kids, like, where's your parents? What's going on? I don't get this. And every day I would meet their energy, until one day I'm like, what is, every day I'm like, what is going on with y'all? And then one day I decided to say, you know what? No, really, what is going on with you guys? I decided to show a little compassion. I decided to talk to them, like they were human beings. But the first thing that I did was apologize to them, because I was matching their energy. I was just as mad as them, and I knew that they were testing me. So I decided to be a little bit more compassionate, and I will tell you that class was one of my hardest classes, and they tested me. But the moment that I decided to be compassionate, the moment that I decided to, ask them what is really going on, no, seriously, I do care about what really is going on with you, was the day that I had my breakthrough with that class. As a matter of fact, it became a thing, where we had what we would call a therapy session, and they wanted to, there was one day I didn't feel like teaching at all. I'm like, you know what, let's watch a movie. And they said, no, Sergeant Red, but can we have a therapy session? Can we talk? And it was just that extra thing that I did. They needed to give me grace. I needed to give them grace. So, it's important that we show compassion, because people typically open up when you show compassion. My A is be available. Sometimes we hear it all the time. People are like, man, I'm here for you. I'll be there for you. I'll do anything you need me to do. But in actuality, they're not available. They don't, they're not there for you. You never want anybody to feel like a burden when they come to you. So when you say that you're going to be available to people, you should be available to people. You know, that is a very important part of caring about people, is being available, because once you're available and you know what's going on, you become aware of their needs, and you know what they need from you. So you'll know how to care for somebody if you are aware of what they need. So always be available to people. Don't just say it, do it. My R is rapport. You know, if you establish rapport with people, that's how you build trust with people. I'll never forget, there was one time in my career where I had just moved to a new duty location. And I've had a commander, the same commander, for about 1.5 years. So he knew me. We've talked a few times, and I was having a bad day, and I called one of my coworkers, and I kind of told them what was going on with me. You know, I was going through a divorce. I just moved. My support system wasn't around. And he calls, because that's what he was supposed to do, you know, because I think I mentioned, like, you know, I wasn't suicidal, but I was just like, you know what, you know, I prayed to God to do me a favor, to just not wake me up, because I just didn't want to go through the stuff that I was going through in life. So when I said that, my coworker told the powers that be, so I got a phone call from my commander. And when my commander called me, he said, "How are the kids?" And I'm like, non-existent, because I don't have any, you know, because he didn't do the due diligence to establish rapport with me. He didn't do his research. He didn't really talk to me outside of a group setting or anything like that. So what I'm saying is, he didn't know who I was. So because he didn't know who I was, pretty much everything that man said to me from that point on, I did not hear him, because he didn't do his due diligence to establish rapport with me. Like I said, establishing rapport builds trust. And if you couldn't even take the time to even know my family dynamics, you know, I just felt like it was just pseudo care. And it's something that I feel like we experience, unfortunately, in the workplace and different places, that get to know your people, establish a rapport, you know, build trust. If you really want people to, you know, listen to what you have to say, because like I said, I did not listen to anything that he said at that point, because I knew that he was just checking a box. And that's what I felt like our conversation was. I felt like, you know, he was looking at a piece of paper. How are the kids? In the last 2 weeks, how have you been feeling? You know, it wasn't genuine. And I feel like if you cannot be genuine, then you may not need to be around people, or you may not need to say you care for people if you can't be genuine, because people will know the difference. I knew the difference. I knew that he cared, because he, again, didn't take time to establish rapport with me. And my E is empathy. You know, I feel like empathy is the core of caring. You know, it plays a major role in understanding people. You never know what somebody's going through. And one of the biggest lessons for me as a leader when I was in the military was not everybody thinks like me. Not everybody feels the way that I feel, you know? So if I'm not empathetic to the way that they think or the way that they feel, you know, how can I genuinely say I care about somebody, you know? So it is definitely something that I feel is the core to caring for someone, is to being empathetic, because you never know what somebody's going through, or you never know how they may be interpreting something. So make sure you're empathetic when you're caring for people. It is important to empathize with people. So those are my definitions, or my acronym for the word care. And I feel like those are all major components of caring. But don't get me wrong, caring is not giving people a pass or letting people off of the hook. I think it's contrary. You should hold people accountable, because you can still hold people accountable and tell them about themselves and be compassionate. You should care enough about someone to let them know that they're not getting it right. But on the flip side of it, you believe in them. So sometimes care is tough love. And some of the hardest moments and the best lessons in my life came through people caring enough to tell me what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. Caring is not being somebody's amen corner. And that's what we do, because people in this day and age, they want validation. They want this, and they want it instantly. But sometimes you have to tell somebody, no, you need to look in the mirror. Sometimes you need to tell somebody that that is not the right way. That's care. That's love to me. Because we don't grow and we don't learn from praise and attaboys. It's typically the tough love and the tough lessons that we learn. And sometimes you have to be that person. I am here today, and I'm here to speak with you guys today because somebody cared enough to tell me when I wasn't getting it right. That somebody held me accountable. And that's what I want to do for other people. So I am here today because people cared about me, genuinely cared about me. Like I said, you have to be genuine, you have to be authentic. And that's what I've experienced in my career during my journey. So I'm here today, yes, because of my parents. I have great parents, and I appreciate the lessons that they gave me and they taught me. They did the very best that they could with what they know, but what I'm truly grateful for is the people that cared about me that did not have to. That's the mentors. That's the people that, took me under their wing when they didn't have to. And that's the care that we have to give to other people, because some people don't know any better. I am a high school graduate because I had a basketball coach by the name of Coach Angie Hembry, who cared about me. And she told me, I can't say it without mimicking her. She has this Southern drawl. And she says, LaBasha, you need basketball more than basketball needs you. And I'm like, what is she talking about? What is she talking about? I have no clue what she means, because I'm good and this team needs me. But she was absolutely right. And I actually called her and talked to her just yesterday. And I said, Coach, I'm going to be talking about you because you are a part of my success story. You are, she was absolutely right when she said I needed basketball more than basketball needed me, because I needed her. I needed her wisdom. I needed her guidance. I needed her tough love. She saw beyond my bull crap. She really did. I am an Air Force retiree because somebody cared about me. I have a Master Sergeant, Janie Patterson. She's also retired. And her care for me changed the trajectory of my military career, because I was on a bad path. I was, as an airman basic with nothing, I spent about 2.5 seconds in the military. But I had such a bad attitude and nobody could tell me what to do. I just knew that I was airman basic in charge. And I remember us being on a deployment line and people were about to deploy to go fight for this country. And here I am cursing somebody out, telling them how I don't care about the military and the military can do this and do that when people were about to deploy. And I was saying this with the people I knew I could say it to, but I did not know that there was a Master Sergeant Janie Patterson in the corner watching the whole thing. And when I tell y'all, she ripped me a new one, as she should have. But she didn't stop there. She mentored me throughout my career. She changed the trajectory of my career, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be an Air Force retiree just like she is, because I was on a downward spiral to be kicked out of the military. But I had her, she cared. So I am a woman of faith, and I know how to love people beyond their brokenness, because my spiritual mother loved me beyond my brokenness. You know, she didn't give up on me. I did not want this lady to love me at all. Her name is Elder Alicia Pettis, and she loved me. She cared about me, and she loved me beyond my brokenness. And I can do that for people today, because sometimes people can't accept the care that you give them because of their brokenness and what they they don't know how to accept it because they're broken. So I challenge people to don't give up on those people. You know, Elder Pettis didn't give up on me. And now I do the same thing with other people. If they're hard, I know that I need to love it. It took her 12 years, guys, 12 years to break that barrier for me to open up to her, but she didn't give up because I couldn't see beyond my brokenness. And the last person I want to mention is Dr. Major. I am a college graduate because she cared about me. She cared about my educational journey. I was going through some things when I was in her class. I was intimidated. First of all, I was intimidated to even go through her class because she wrote the book. Now, you don't want to ever take a class where somebody wrote the book. So I was already intimidated, but I am so glad that I got beyond myself and realized that this person cared about me. She cared about me and she held me accountable. Even though I couldn't get through certain things in my mind, she said, I believe in you. She took the time to care for me. Because what she doesn't know, I didn't even think I would be here. I didn't think I would be here. I didn't think that I was going to make it. I'm a first generation graduate. We didn't think about, my parents didn't think about education, but you know, that was a generational thing that I had to break. But I'm so grateful that I had people along my path and along my journey that cared for me, that took the time to say, I believe in you. And for those people, I'm forever indebted. And I'm so grateful. And I know I need to wrap up my time, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank Dr. Majors. And she's still believing in me. I am here today, right now, talking to you guys because she is still believing in me. And I'm grateful for people like her because she didn't have to. I will close with this, guys. You don't ever know what is on the other side of somebody caring about you. I know what it's done for me, and I am dedicated to do it for others. You know, your people, whatever your people are, whoever your people are, they're your greatest asset. And if you want them to be productive, if you want them to be the best versions of themselves, show them that you care. Let them know that they are valued. People want to feel valued, and you've got to do that through caring about them. I have two quotes that I would like to close with. The first one is from Douglas Conant, and it says, "It is unrealistic to expect extraordinary effort and performance without creating an environment where people are extraordinarily valued." Do your people feel valued? You need to ask yourself that. Do your people feel valued? And lastly, I'll say, from the great Maya Angelou, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. It doesn't cost us a thing, guys. It doesn't cost a thing to care for someone. But the latter can cost you everything. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for believing in me. And I'm honored to be here with you guys today. Thank you.
Wow. I knew you would be powerful. And if you could see the chat, LaVasha, you have been powerful. I don't know if I can hold it together through the end. Thank you. we needed to hear your message. We needed to be reminded why our why is important. So I just want to thank you all. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you were concerned about doing it, and no, you're awesome, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
be
you,
in
guys.
touch.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, guys.